Can I undo edits made on a feature service after the service goes down? This is a question that I'll try to answer in this episode of Geodatabase Talk coming up. What's up, y'all? This is Hussein Nasser from iGeometry Podcast, and welcome to another Geodatabase Talk. I forgot which episode is this. I have to keep track, but I think it's more than 10. Yeah, we made more than 10 episodes on those. Really enjoying them, guys. Right? I think you do too, from the number of plays I got on this podcast. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Right? Thank you for showing your support. And let's jump on this question today, right? So nobody asked this question. I just had it in my mind, and I want to talk more about it, right? Especially the capability of undo and redo. Let me take a seat. So undo and redos, right? Especially I'm talking now through the service, right? That has been enabled, a feature service that has the version management capability. Okay. If you have more questions on, just send me an email or put your questions on the comment section below, right? But the version management, when you enable that, you get the ability to create versions on a service. We didn't have that back when, right? So back when you can always connect to your version and publish that version. And a version management service, it's completely different. You can perform version management capabilities on your dataset from a service, which is nuts if you think about it. This is pretty cool. So you can create version, reconcile through the service. This didn't exist before. I can undo, redo, all that stuff. So the question is, today, right? If you assume you have branch and versioning enabled and the new service-based versioning enabled, can you undo and edit, right, after your service goes down? Let's say you make a version, you switch to that version from Pro, okay, and then you create a bunch of edits, and then you have the ability to undo, obviously, while the service is up. But let's say you create a bunch of edits, but the service, you turn off the service completely. The server dies, right? The session is still on, right? You have your client up, right? Obviously, you hit undo, it will fail, right? But what will happen if you restart that service and then you hit undo, right? Can you actually perform that operation? The answer is yes. That's pretty nuts if you think about it. It's really cool. The reason is the concept of statelessness. Can you say statelessness? I don't think you can. The service is stateless, and because of the service stateless, it doesn't care. It doesn't store any state. Well, that's debatable, but it doesn't rely on a state that is in memory on that service. You can kill that service, and I still can undo. You can still do redos. You can perform all these tasks because of the stateless nature of ArcGIS Server and the client as well, right? So each request that is made to the service can go to completely different server, completely different service, completely different process, and still got executed. I'm not gonna go into details, not to bore you guys, but that's pretty cool, right? So I actually showed a demo to a customer, and I was explaining this to him, right? I was explaining this to them, and the funny part is I was like, hey guys, I was like, yeah guys, you can turn off the service and you can undo that, and you can just completely once the server's back, you can just completely continue your session and save your edit. You won't lose your edits. I was selling that point to a certain extent, but guess what? as I was saying that, I actually lost internet connection. I lost the network. I don't know, the LAN got dropped and I lost them, and I was creating a feature, showing them something, right? Creating a feature, and that failed. I was like, what was going on? And so okay, now I was actually okay. So I lost the connection, I lost the service, obviously, right? And then I unplugged the LAN, the wire, and I connected through the Wi-Fi from my laptop. And guess what? I hit save and it just worked, right? Because of the stateless, it doesn't care where you're coming from. It just cares like every single request it is treated independently. That's why I preach a lot in this podcast and this YouTube channel. I talk about stateless and how powerful this thing is. It has its slight disadvantages. I'm going to call this cons, not disadvantages, but they're in general. I talked about them. Just go to YouTube and just type stateless versus stateful. I think I'm still number 2 or number 1 on that list. It's just like go to YouTube and just stateless versus stateful. You'll find my video there. I talk about all that stuff, right? Regardless of the GIS, actually, just like general architecture of stateless versus stateful. All right, guys, I think that's it. I talked too much. Sorry, guys. I'm going to see you in the next one. You guys stay awesome. Check out other content in this podcast. Right? Subscribe to this podcast. Really, really appreciate the support, guys. Share this video. Share this podcast with your friends. I really, really, really appreciate it when you do. It means a lot. And I am going to see you in the next one. If you like this stuff, right? Share it, and it means a lot to me. That means that will give me incentive to continue producing this kind of content. All right, guys, I am gonna see you next. If you want to learn more about geodatabase, check out my books. Right, I talk about the learning ArcGIS geodatabase. It's a very basic entry-level book, very popular on Amazon or fact on my website. That's my book, published in 2014. Planning to do another one really soon. All right, guys. That's it for me today. See you in the next one. Stay awesome.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.